From the next day on, it was the second coming of the investment contest, but the stakes were different. On top of that, this time around things were more complex, and the program would be used in the actual marketplace where it hadn't yet been tested. Mistakes wouldn't be forgiven. Indecision also wouldn't be forgiven. A 50% profit in a week was an insane level of performance. If leverage from margin trading was to be utilized, the hurdle would be reduced to 17%. But I didn't want to go through with 3 times the mental strain. The amount of capital was also something that couldn't be disregarded. Will this work out? Agana asked in a genuine manner. There's no other choice besides. I'll open up the margin trading screen I spoke. We've got leverage here too. Huh? Well, you're here, aren't you? I forced out a laugh and Agana pouted and turned away. Despite having no expression, her face was red and her lips showed her displeasure. Agana and I immersed ourselves in trading. This went about her usual busyness and supported us in a variety of ways. However, she did say that at least we should sleep separately. It seemed she caught on. While Agana did respond tentatively, in the end, after working in my room, she fell asleep at the desk from fatigue, and I ended up carrying her to bed. She did open her eyes at one point when I picked her up, but she relaxed and did nothing. Well, I thought about just telling her to move herself. That self-indulgence was way too cute, and I couldn't get myself to say it. Along with the expression in her eyes, she was like a pedigree cat off its guard. Agana and I did the best that we could. After hearing about her exploits, the people who were burdened by debt would come by with all sorts of provisions. Even Chris's father volunteered to be a night watchman, figuring that these money mongers might want to do something while we slept. Day by day, we piled up those profits. Real trading was ruthlessly complex. Due to spending so much time with the investment contest, the program's accuracy was exceptionally off. But even then, Agana updated in real time and Sorrel acted as backup, so I was able to go all out and chase after that alpha. Separately, they were very weak, but take 0.1% each time and pile it up 1,000 times and it became 100%. And real quick, I need to go back. Okay, yeah, I thought I misread it for a second. For satellite probes heading into outer space, its propulsion came from the spewing of small ions. For people who dealt with the hardships and tribulations of the irrationality of society, the alchemists of the lunar surface were siphoning money away from their precious assets, almost like some sort of Robin Hood. With the size of the funds tripled through leverage, and with Agana's support, we rushed through the battlefield. Extracting profits also brought about losses. Cutting down your foe would lead to yourself being cut down. As we were burned with something amazing while fighting, people trading on the other side of the screen fought with real money of their own as well. I wondered whether wishing for our own success was like wishing for the failure of another me and Agana on the other side of the screen. That wasn't some complete delusion, it was plenty plausible. But we had to go through with this. We had to continue desperately. But reality was lumbering and slow. It was the 5th day since we started trading, Saturday evening. Monday was the day Toyama needed to pay back the loan. With Sunday in between, there was only 1 day left. Total assets were at 720,000 moles, only a 10% increase. On top of that, I was putting all my available funds in use. Due to continued trading after the investment contest, when trading was done, we were literally out of breath. My body was at its limit. Agana did not mention it to me, but once in a while she'd run to the toilet to throw up when her physical condition got particularly bad. There's still 1 more day left. Even though I didn't say anything, Agana said it. That was one way to say the situation was painful. And Lisa is... Hearing that, Agana shook her head. She had spent the day with me immersed in trading, so there was no way of knowing. Speaking of which, up until recently, Agana would ask me about Lisa while I was immersed in trading. At that time, I'd say I didn't know, and Agana would have a distinctly displeased expression on her face, as if calling me useless trash. Looking back, I could see that I'd come a long way. It occurred to me that I'd spent a long time here. Going to the toilet. Agana said that and stood up. She headed to the toilet unsteadily, so perhaps she needed to throw up again. Myself, I still had the run, so I couldn't always keep food down. Eliza had a worried expression on her face seeing me like this. She didn't say anything. Even if she said anything, we definitely had no intention of stopping, and she had no choice but to let us continue. Thus, Lisa started to pray often in the church. In the middle of the night when I head to the toilet, I would realize there was someone in the church. When I looked, it was usually Lisa. She was praying fervently to the crucified bearded guy. Perhaps this endeavor was a pointless struggle in the end. Was this where the strong became stronger? In Newton City's Central Station, I saw the statue of E.J. Rochberg, founder of the leading bank on the moon. He was also called a fool for throwing himself into investing, and the result of that unbelievable effort was the elevation of his status to what it was currently. Will such good fortune not pay us a visit? I wondered what was going on as I became assailed by all these pessimistic thoughts. I thought it was impossible as we proceeded, but it really was impossible. I didn't want to listen to such an obvious conclusion. Just 80,000 moles more. No, what I desired was 100,000 moles. If living expenses and various other things weren't taken care of, the townspeople won't be able to pay off their debts and will fall victim to the moneymongers who are licking their lips in anticipation. On the last day, will we be able to gain enough in profits? Short of a miracle, it was impossible. A miracle. A miracle. At that moment, I became aware of a fragment of that miracle. Hal, I've been thinking. Agana said that as she came back from the toilet. Though she came back from the toilet, her mouth looked a bit wet. Unless she washed her face, I knew right away that something was up. I think we have no choice but to narrow it down to one stock and risk it all. There's not enough time. Agana went over everything that had happened until now. Naturally, that failed during the investment contest. On top of that, this time the marketplace wasn't like the investment contest where the guidelines and rules were clear. There were no obvious clues to go by, and within the current framework we had to nail a 10% profit from out of nowhere. If that was possible, we should have been able to do it from the beginning. On top of that, said gamble did not work during the investment contest, thus Agana's words weren't very inspired. But instead of responding to her words, I simply said this. I'm gonna head out for a bit. Huh? Hal? Where? It might just work out. I didn't answer her as I stood up. With computer in hand, I faced my room. Agana wanted to follow me, but her body was already at its limit, and she stayed seated, unable to get up quickly enough. Just say something to Lisa for me, if you don't mind. I said that from the hallway as I turned away from the room with the computer tucked under my arm. Hal. I heard Agana's voice, but I ignored it as I ran up the stairs to the second floor, then heading towards the third floor and outside. Outside, twilight was falling. The real action was about to happen in Newton City. I opened the computer and sent a mail off to Barton. Can you meet up? Immediately, a response came. Certainly I can. Let's meet at the Royal Central Hotel. I closed the computer and tossed it in my bag. And then, mustering what little strength I had, I ran at full tilt through the night-filled town. I ran through the dazzling nightscape of Newton City. From their perspective, redeveloping the poor districts really meant nothing to them. 80, 100,000 moles, that was something you could deal with. If you were foolish enough to be ruined by losing that much, you didn't belong on the moon in the first place. That's what I thought in the beginning. But living in Lisa's church and training alongside Agana, there was something that I came to understand. The connections between others won't change because of money. In the case of lying on Lisa's lap, if I could have that for 50,000 moles, I might have paid. If that were the case, what about that night when Agana listened to me talk about my dream while I held her hand under the covers? How much was that worth? Once Agana could only see me as trash, she wouldn't know much of anything in her facial expressions. Now she's come to show me her smile. How much was that? And then, thinking about Agana, I imagined that it was the same for the people of the town and their families. Chris and her family were the same. Though in the end I had seen Chris's mother even once, I'd imagine it would be an ordinary one-episode story that I didn't care to hear about. I ran through Newton City. I ran through the moon's was the last thing I aimed at in the investment contest. And if that manifests in the marketplace, then naturally it should happen in reality too. All of it was how people carried out their lives, how people are influenced. So all the good fortune I encountered was being pulled along by a different bit of luck that I believed in as I headed towards it. The Royal Central Hotel, a super high-level hotel that cost at least 1,000 rolls a night. From limousines at the front entrance, important government figures and the wealthy and their bodyguards streamed through, probably since it was the weekend. This was the third time I came here. I wasn't even nervous that the doorman recognized me. He flashed a friendly smile towards me as he opened the door. Without strain, I headed towards the cafe. The people who recognized me smiled as they led me there. Barton had his interest in me. He had his interest in my abilities. If so, then something should be possible. Be firm in readiness. Do not waver. Soon, I stood before Barton. As usual, he sat comfortably in a chair, and today he was reading a real old-fashioned book. I apologize for the short notice. Do not worry. It just so happened that my schedule was free. Barton spoke as he placed a bookmark in the book and looked at me. Barton's expression was firm as he looked at me, which was probably how it always was each time. You look frightened. I have a favor to ask. Barton offered me a chair, but I remained standing as I spoke. I would like you to invest in me. Invest? Barton repeated that as he once again offered me a chair. Well, first take a seat. As you are right now, this isn't a negotiation, but an entreaty. He grinned broadly as he offered me a chair for the third time. I sat down, and after Barton rang a bell, a waiter came out. Would you like some Irish coffee? Cough. As I started to say coffee, I corrected myself. Hot cocoa. These last few days I would drink it alongside Tagana. As you wish. Not bothering with something as inelegant as writing it down, he bowed once and stepped away. Barton sighed deeply and leaned back in his chair. A small amount of silence fell. I spoke. I would like you to invest in me. Barton said that as he looked at me. Compared to the first time I saw him, his facial expression was intense. Invest in you. Is that what you said, is it not? If that is the case, then rather that is the headhunter, Barton Cladwyson. I will have to look at this from the perspective of Barton Cladwyson, representative of the Britannica. It almost felt as if Barton's body swelled in size. It was the overpowering feeling given off by an influential person. I felt as if I'd been blown away if I didn't plant my feet firmly. Will you be able to turn a profit for me? A greedy loan shark taking away the last ball from a poor man. Something like that would be no match for Barton's intensity. With large sums of money invested, this was an overwhelming ambition that only those who earn great deals of money could dare to have. When you're really wealthy, people bow their heads to you unconditionally. I gritted my teeth and spoke. Permission to speak? Of course. I took a deep breath. Then I spoke. I would like to borrow 300,000 rolls. Barton raised an eyebrow at this. 300,000 rolls? Well, that is... Barton started to say, but chortled lightly. Excuse me. Well, that is a surprising amount of money. It must be a joke. I pressed on. The annual interest rate is 20%. And the expected maturation date? If you were able to wait 10 years, then I will return it by then. If the annual rate is 20%, after 10 years it will multiply 5 times and become 900,000 rolls. But we're at the Earth. There are a scattering of white-collar workers who earn about that much over their lifetimes. Does the Britannica consider such earnings beyond the low end of the scale? At my words, Barton's mouth curled very slightly in the shape of a smile. Not bad. As Barton laughed, the drinks arrived. The cocoa was his. Barton gestured towards me politely, and then the hot cocoa was placed before me. Please enjoy. Barton raised his hand, and the waiter stood back. Barton reached into his coat, pulled out a small bottle of alcohol from his breast pocket, and poured the contents into his coffee cup. Now, I was under the impression Irish coffee actually came with that, but maybe he likes his own blend, I don't know. For times like these, you need alcohol for a bit more of a kick. He said in a mischievous manner. After pouring out half the bottle's contents, Barton looked at the cup and spoke. After 10 years, you will make 900,000 and become an impressive manager at the Britannica then. Or possibly independently. I stuck to my guns for the sake of doing so, but as much as I stuck to my guns, Barton's actions became sluggish. Well, in asking you to join me, a lesser individual suggesting 900,000 bulls would be rather shocking and perhaps hard to imagine. In that case, but why 300,000 bulls? I doubt you're going to use it to buy licorice or something. This wasn't small change. To Barton, it was a meaningless sum of money, but it wasn't small change. I readied myself and spoke. With that money, a lot of people can be saved. Huh. Barton breathed in and laughed. His large frame shook all over as he laughed. For the people of Schrödinger Street, this was what you called an act of mercy. Of course he would laugh. However, the gratitude you could be sold later for much more. The gratitude you could get could be sold later for much more. At my words, Barton's laughter stopped immediately. Oh? For various reasons, right now, I'm in possession of the gathered funds from a lot of people. Those people borrowed money from someone else with their funds, so these funds are all they have for the sake of paying off those debts. But it isn't enough to pay it off, so my intention is to gather funds to further grow that amount. Very wise. He said that in an almost ridiculing manner. Also, the lender those people received money from had borrowed money from someone else, and the origin of all that are a number of land speculators. Barton's face became serious. And then, apparently the place we all live in has become the target for a redevelopment project. The borrowers built their homes, and live there holding the rights to the land. That is why, if this redevelopment project goes underway, they want to hold out until the government reimburses them, as the properties will become very valuable. But if the collectors come, they will take everything, leaving nothing. Thus the 300,000 mules I wish to borrow. An investment, right? Barton corrected me. But there was a kindness in it. Barton looked at me quietly. After redevelopment, that 300,000 mule investment will change over and become the debt of gratitude from the many people who hold those land rights. And that would be greater than the annual rate of 20%, you say? Correct. At my words, Barton let out a slight groan. So that's what you mean. What do you think? I asked once more. I got a response. Barton is not the sort who would understand this. In terms of gain and loss, without a doubt, these would be gains. Barton sipped on the Irish coffee he'd spiked, and for a while he held it on his lips and drank it down. The words that came out were not what I would expect after drinking hot coffee. They were cold as ice. I must decline. I was dumbfounded, and for a number of seconds I couldn't respond to that. Why not? At my outburst, Barton frowned and put the cup down. It's a problem in how one lives. Barton said. Perhaps he was saying that it would be best to let people in trouble hurt themselves instead. I don't want you to misunderstand me. If I could, I would try to offer assistance. In that case, but I am Barton Gladbison of the Britannica. The invested funds I've handled number in the several tens of billions of moles. It is not money on a global scale, but a fair amount. And thus the pressure is high. On top of that, performance is expected. I don't know what he's talking about. But Barton had a zeal that couldn't keep me silent. I must be a thorough investor. If that is not the case, then I cannot serve in this capacity. Thus it is a problem in how one lives. This is the kind of work of a drab branch in a drab bank. I had no words to counter with. Barton paid little heed to my exposed and dumbfounded expression as he quietly looked at the cup in his hand and continued. I won't say that it is a bad line of work. I don't think that it's a waste of time either. However, in doing something tepid like that, just an instant it will come falling down. The place I am in is like that. Think about it. How much do you imagine it costs for all of us to live on the moon? It pales in comparison with the developed nations on Earth. Thus, I must decline. That is not an investment for me. It is not an investment for me at all. He said it simply. I've heard it before that when one goes about investing a large sum of money, they shouldn't let emotions control them. With the steely resolve and ironclad balls, even if the universe were to implode, an investment's performance must always hold steady. Barton was the incarnation of all that. Besides, if you aim to reach Schrodinger's Street, you should have that kind of volition. An investor must consider the best possible investment, the best possible conditions, the best possible interval at all times. These are the words of the sole person I hold respect for, Mr. Infallible. He was a beast with personal assets of 80 billion rubles. Compared to him, I felt small enough to be crushed by him. So, if you think you can save these people, then take on this challenge as an investor. Time. There isn't enough time. I looked at the steam from the cocoa as I said that. There was only 1 day left. Only 1 day left. I have 720,000 mules in funds. At the end of Monday, I need to reach 1 million mules at all costs. At the very least, I'd be fine with 900,000 mules. But it's not possible. Even if I desperately stack on as much profit as possible, 10% is the ceiling, so... I raised my face and looked at Barton. I did not want to admit that my vision was blurred because I had been crying. So... Yet Barton's tone was icy cold. Investor. A successful investor. He's a pro among pros. An obvious concept such as helping someone in trouble, leaving them indebted to you, is not something he would agree with. I hung my head in shame, having nothing left to say. It was impossible. I was naive to think otherwise. Impossible. Is that so? And that's what Barton said. Desperately stacked on profits, only 10%. Come on now. Since when did you lower yourself to that of a quant stooge? I raised my hand and saw that Barton's angered face was scowling at me. I saw the last decision you made during the investment contest. It was rather impressive. That was it. That was the essence of a trader. With each move, one by one, your thinking became clear. It gave me shivers as I recalled my younger days. A failure is certainly a failure, but there are bets that one should continue to make. That is it. It brought back memories of the times I'd been beaten by my father as he lectured me. It really was a mystery as to why I would remember him now of all possible times. Besides, if you don't have enough time, then you just need to find a shortcut. Barton then sipped on his coffee. The time I took you around and explained to you my investment techniques, do you remember what I said? I dug deep into the crevices of my mind. I had the confidence to have memorized it all. Yes. In that case, that's right. The building that we went to see, do you remember the name of the company on that building? I don't know why he asked that question, but I answered immediately. Ring Tech. Huh? And then he suddenly raised his voice hysterically. Whoa now, are you alright? Huh? Ring Tech is a fine company, but the company we saw was a different one, was it not? But what was it? I can't quite remember. Wait a moment. As Barton said that, he rummaged through his coat and pulled out a small terminal. And then he tapped the screen and started it up. Yes, this. Now I remember. Here it is, here. He placed the small terminal on top of the table. There it displayed the electronic data of that company. Come on, hang in there. I bought you at a higher price, after all. me as I peeked at the terminal and smirked as he laughed. But, well then, the smell of alcohol has gotten me hungry. Barton slapped me on the shoulder, saying that on purpose as he stood up. I looked back and forth a number of times between Barton and his electronic terminal. And then, finally, a connection bridged inside my head. This was investment news. Speaking of which, when is the next time it will rain here? There's usually nothing but bad news, depressing stuff. I'm not looking forward to Monday. With his large chest sticking out, he muttered to himself. The excitement was enough to make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Insider information. This was insider information. Rainy days do put me in a downer of a mood. Not a pleasant thing, right? Barton winked at me. He acted so silly and out of character. If I were a girl, I'd fall for him. Well, how about some food? I knew a place that has some great fish. I stood up and lowered my head. Sorry, today isn't going to work. Right, a shame. But we can meet any time, can't we? Right, it's already this late. I better make a phone call. Barton smirked as he laughed. Without saying a word of thanks, I lowered my head once more. I'll mail you again. I'll be waiting. It'll rain on Monday. Do keep that in mind. Yes. I responded and began to run before I turned back. I need to pay for the cocoa. Oh, now, you're going to embarrass me like that? Sorry. Minor details, don't worry about it. They were aloof words. I ran through the elegant interior of the cafe. Many of the gentlemen and ladies went over what was going on as they watched me go, and I paid no heed to those eyes. If nothing else, because my teacher, who stood on top of the table at the VIP seat, shouted out. Godspeed, young one. Grasp the future with your own hands. For the moon's rich to say something like that to a damn brat in shabby clothing. It was a valuable thing. My chest was bursting with happiness as I continued to run. I ignored the eyes of onlookers as I ran. Even inside the confines of a crowded train, I wanted to run. I ran non-stop from the station to the church and barely through the sanctuary of the church straight to the living room. And then I spoke. I will show you my investment technique. Seeing me like that, now his eyes became round and she looked at me blankly. So real quick, I don't know if this is actually something global, but in the US, insider trading is very, very highly frowned upon to the point of prosecution and jail time. To give you guys an example, the probably best case of insider trading in recent history would be Martha Stewart. I think it was a pharmaceutical company she had stocks in. And then someone from the company told her, before telling the public, that their latest drug had been rejected by the FDA. With that information, she then sold her stocks. And then the following day, when that news was revealed to the public, the stock price of the company started tumbling. And then, just by looking at the convenient times of the sell, then the phone records and everything, it didn't take much to figure out what exactly happened, and eventually they got someone to confess. Now, unfortunately, since you're dealing with the wealthy for these kinds of things, the punishments are usually slaps on the wrist. Like, I don't even remember how long Martha Stewart actually spent in jail, but it was a country club prison, and it wasn't very long at that. You have to really screw up to get something like Bernie Madoff got. And if you're not familiar with who he is, I'll just say he's the mastermind behind a Ponzi scheme, and we'll go from there. Sunday, Hagan and I slept. We slept as much as possible. I gave detailed instructions to Lisa that she was to keep out anyone waiting on us for some good news on the situation. On Monday, everything was on the line. For that reason, we rested up to recover our strength. That was all we could do. Saturday night we slept, then Sunday morning we got up to eat, and afterwards went back to sleep. I wasn't sure when Hagana crawled into my bed, but I didn't think much of it. I was fine with it since Hagana was relaxed too. In any case, we slept and slept. As if our two bodies had fused together somehow, we slept. Thus, as if somehow knowing when exactly to wake up, both of us woke up at the same time and found that it was just the start of Monday at midnight. Hagan and I looked at each other. I wasn't sure which of us woke up first, but for a brief moment Hagan and I both held our breath. The feeling our lips touched was softer and sweeter than anything in this world. At the same time, we said nothing. Instead, we decided with a little trouble what to do after we got up. Carlisle Investment. As Agana sat at her chair, she said that while starting up her terminal. I wondered if this was Agana's way to get energized. She grasped her hair like she was going to curl it, then brushed it before letting that beautiful black hair flutter down. Yeah. At my words, Agana brought up the stock information. This then. While looking, see next to Agana, I squeezed out each word. Short sell it. Agana said nothing. Instead, she opened her program and, putting all her effort to supporting me, she started manipulating and calculating figures. Barton pointed to the stock while mentioning that it would rain on Monday. On top of that, suddenly there was news about rain. Without a doubt, it was insider information, and with regards to this company, there was some bad news flowing. Someone like Barton would have connection to many hundreds of companies, and he'd certainly be listening in on thousands of people and what they had to say. Especially since Monday comes right after the weekend, when bad things are prone to happening. There have been situations such as a superior CEO taking one of his company's own manufactured bikes and riding off a cliff to his death. Naturally, a company losing a great leader would lead to the stock hitting the lower price variable limit. You wouldn't know what would happen. That is why there are many cases of price drops the day before the weekend. Everyone closed positions that were in danger of any risk. This is probably the best company then. As the name suggested, Carlisle Investment was an investment company. Whether it were securities, real estate, or commodities, if it could be traded, then they dealt in it with a lack of any real fidelity. There were no accurate details from them. Based on that, it was unclear what, if anything, might happen. Annual earnings were not stable, with one year reaping in enormous profits and the next year taking a big loss. It was common for them to say that they make consecutive large profits. That is why, for a gambling enterprise such as them, they drew out those who enjoy gambling. Even on Agana's program, it displayed jaw-dropping price fluctuations. Terrible company. So it seems. But it is really sensitive to trading. Looking at the screen from one side of Agana, I could see her collarbone. The word sensitive actually gave me a bit of a jolt. Smacking my head like it for being an idiot while Agana tilted her head with a question mark over it. If we sell it all at once, I think it will drop. That would be good enough. We only have one day to trade after all. If it drops at that time, then that's good enough. But, will this really work? She asked worriedly. I suppose anyone would be in doubt and wonder if my head was on straight if I suddenly came back in high spirits and declared that I knew which stock will drop tomorrow. On top of that, I didn't clearly understand what information I had received, as most of that was clearly grounded in insider information. Since I was a minor, I didn't think I would be judged by the penal code, but if I did get caught, then I most likely couldn't return to the normal investment world. But there's no way I would get caught. Odds are that I won't get caught. Frankly, there are much worse things happening in society. I will undertake it. In God's name. Laugh. Imprudence. I felt that was a rather elegant word for Agana to use. But this is difficult. Difficult. Yeah. Will the news come first thing in the morning? But that wouldn't be in time. I couldn't make money if it hit the stop floor with the orders entered before trading. Barton would have known about something like that. If that were the case, it may come right in the middle of trading. best if the start of trading would coincide with the commencement of full-strength selling. However, instead of wild price fluctuations, Carlisle Investments' day-to-day trade volume was low. Compared to the funds I wanted to trade with, the trade volume was overwhelmingly low. This was returned to the last day of the investment contest. If there's a large sell-off, then the buys will be low, so naturally the volume will drop. For example, if you sold 700,000 moles worth of stock valued at 1,000 moles a share, if buy orders at 1,000 moles a share amounted to only 10,000 moles total, my order would clear at a lower price. If liquidity were low, then the price will move due to your trading. It was possible for a price to hit close to the daily limit for a price drop. Not to mention it was more likely the case after negative news came out. I would be at my wit's end if, right after selling, the daily limit for price drops was reached. In the end, in theory, all that could be done was to sell bit by bit. I had my worries and misgivings about it, but time continued to move unabated as the market opened. In order to not cause the buyers to scatter, we sold off shares stealthily. If there were a big drop, it had to happen after we sold big. Pagano was not a pleasant sight. Carlisle Investment starting price was 1,072 moles, but the start of trading it didn't move for the most part. It wasn't because of the news or any major changes in the market either. Some would say it was only natural. Thus, if I sold 10,000 moles worth, I'd wait 10 minutes for 5,000 moles worth, and wait 5 minutes. So if I sold 10,000 moles worth, I'd wait 10 minutes for 5,000 moles worth, I'd wait 5 minutes. I didn't know what the news was going about, and I was putting my stomach in knots. Pagano was fidgeting next to me like she wanted to go to war. Quickly, if I was going to sell, I'd have to sell more. If I continued to use prudence, then I sold. Doing that through the morning, I sold up to 220,000 moles worth. This morning was the highest trade volume of the month. Most likely people should have taken notice of the net. How much left? 500,000 moles. This is taking forever. But the news didn't come out during the afternoon recess, and the increase in volume was soon detected as people started to gather. Buyers lined up with their gathered funds while there were sellers other than ourselves lined up with orders as well. Alongside the afternoon opening, continuing to take advantage of the sell-off, most drove in a short sale of 70,000 moles. Instead of pressing on some elastic rubber, after making a slight dent, the buyers came in and the price returned to the starting point. Logically speaking, there was no reason for the price to drop, so the buying did not seem strange at all. Holding my eagerness in check, I ignored the other sellers. This time, after 30 minutes, I sold off 50,000 moles worth. There still had one remaining. The price fluctuation held in place miraculously with little change compared to the previous day. The time had just reached 2 o'clock. It was about time for the news to come out. It could be that it would arrive after trading ended. I really didn't know when this news would come out. If it were an announcement of the settlement of accounts, the announcement would be made after market close in the case of companies trying to cause chaos. But frequently, that information got leaked to journalists who emphasized that information, and I hoped that would be the case here. No matter what time the news was announced, hopefully it would be that. If it was something like a bolt out of the blue, then maybe it would be appropriate to say God only knows. After that, I sold the 40,000 moles and crossed over the halfway mark. It's a strange feeling. This is my first time trading like this. And Hagan's words, I looked up. The living room was as it usually was. She was right that it did seem weird. Lisa said she didn't really want to watch how things unfolded and stepped out. Due to that, perhaps it was too quiet. I don't know. Is this trading? Hagan asked. She was probably this talkative due to the unbearable tension. Yes. It's a method of trade that I've seen in New City. Another buy appeared and 10,000 moles worth was sold. Other selling appeared, but as expected, buys came in steady. Perhaps the pace was a bit too quick. I thought for a moment. Hey, Hal. Havana called my name and looked at me. Havana gazed at me. What? Hal? Are you going to leave here? You're going to talk about this now. To be clear, I thought that. But to Ghana, that might have been the most important matter. If that were the case, then I couldn't just ignore it now. I looked back at the computer while nodding. Or rather, in exchange for following him, he shared that bit of information with me. Ghana was a bit speechless. It occurred to me that I had chosen my words incorrectly. Ghana had been sold off on Earth. No, but I learned from him. When we turned to leave, he stood on a table, and that's how he told me. Another 50,000 was sold. The price dropped, then returned quickly. He said, "Godspeed, young one. The key to winning the future is in your hands." I really was happy at that. It was in a place people could see, not to mention the cafe of a high-class hotel. He is a really good person. More than Lisa? Agata asked. Compared to Lisa, well, the genres are totally different. Genre? Like the gender or something. During the time I was talking, another 70,000 was sold. 510,000 was sold. Due to the rate of price drops, soon it would be within range. Although buyers retreated slowly from the battlefield, they did not lose their fighting spirit. The stock price continued to resist at 1,064 rubles. That should have cut off buying. Because he's a male? Yeah. Well, what if that person were female? You shouldn't ask strange questions like that, I thought as a joke meant. It's so funny. Nothing. If he was female. You know, a female version of Barton did make me laugh. If the case, then Lisa. Really? I got a sigh of relief. What was that all about? As I asked, Agata said this quietly. I don't want you to leave. She did not hesitate. It was one of two possibilities. Either she'd hide her emotions or she wouldn't. That couldn't be effective. I can't. As I answered, 80,000 rubles was sold. As expected, the buying side was now agitated. The price got over the 1060 wall, and nonetheless, everything was as agreed. Okay, part of what's throwing me off here is the whole 1,000 number. It's 10 instead of 1 something else. So on reflex, I want to say it's 1060 here instead of 1060 or 1072 as I said earlier. So when I'm trying to juggle these for consistency, it is throwing me off a bit. I'm going to try to stick to the 10 something number, so hopefully you guys don't mind. Just know that if you're not a native English speaker, this is not an appropriate way, I guess. It's a lazy way. Not gonna lie to you guys, it's lazy. The price got over the 1060 wall. Nevertheless, everything was as agreed at 590,000 rubles. All that was left was 130,000. For the sake of your dream? I asked. Right. Monkey. Agata quietly looked at me, almost like a child. I want that toy too. Her eyes said that to me. But it wasn't the right sort of place for her then. I remember when Barton turned down my request for funds. That was not a righteous route. If possible, I wanted Agata and Lisa to never know such a place as that in their lifetimes. It'd be good if you had dreams of your own. I prepared a 30,000 sell offer. Agata grabbed that hand. What is it now? You aren't going to find that dream in my hand, you know. I said that with a strained smile, and Agata's face stiffened. What? It's here. Huh? It's here. Agata repeated herself like a stubborn child and squeezed my hand. The screen showed the beginning of the tug-of-war between sellers and buyers, with the advantage tilted towards the sellers. With the explosion in trade volume, the persistent sell-offs were beginning to draw people in who were suspicious that maybe some sort of negative news was going to come out. I didn't know where they were going to announce details about the stocks. Not restricted to the main news outlets, if industry-oriented media were to make an announcement, there would also be a possibility that an announcement would happen at seminars geared towards institutional investors. What both had in common was that at that moment, wherever that announcement was made, it would then affect the stock prices. That was why it was normal to wonder if such information may come out when one would least expect, when there's a chance of turbulent price fluctuations. The sellers were on the offensive. Now was the only time to sell. But I didn't move. Though she seemed powerless in the grasp of Agana's hand, I couldn't move much. There is, here. As Agana said that, she looked up. Those weren't lightless dark eyes. They were powerful eyes that sought one's hopes. I want to. Agana earnestly withstood the urge to cry as she said it. Live in peace with everyone. The lunar surface was a place where people had the wildest of dreams. But it was a place where many people drifted who couldn't even enjoy the bare minimum of happiness. Agana was one of them, and this girl's dream was to live in peace with everyone. It was so natural, but simultaneously so difficult. Just searching through my memory, I could recall many examples like that. There were probably very few people's faces that Agana could remember. Her head was filled to the brim with mathematics, with no room for anything else to be absorbed. First on the list of faces was Lisa, probably. And my name was in there as well. I looked back at Agana, and her face became strained as she looked downcast. Perhaps my face was one of those as well. Perhaps it was within reason to be able to live together with others. But to live in peace was absolutely impossible. Recalling how Barton denied my request, it was very clear to me. Investors did not make their living investing. It personified people who lived only for investing above anything else. For someone like me, ignorant of the ways of society, if I were to live the way that Barton did, for starters, I'd be well aware that danger lay in wait for me. Betrayal and schemes, that was everything to people perhaps. Jumping straight into that world, I would feel insecure about being able to bask in the sun with Lisa in the garden on the 3rd floor. And I would think I shouldn't even be doing something like that. Being an investor was a lifestyle. If one wanted a warm, milk and honey way of life, then this was certainly not the path to take. I couldn't shake off Agana's hand and pulled mine gently from it. I must decline. I said it softly, much as Barton said it to me. I put out a 30,000 wool sell order. During the state of reduced activity, the price fluctuation reacted in response. The wall of the tens digits at 1050 was scaled, going up to 1051 a share. I will make these profits and go to Schrödinger Street. And they're missing the umlaut this time. The stock price would drop little by little at times, like someone losing their footing while climbing a set of stairs. 620,000 moles worth had already been sold. At that point, the profits were starting to reach 10,000 moles. Honestly, though, it was really only a small change. I steeled my nerves. I wasn't bluffing when I said I considered it small change. My thoughts were that, with the several tens, nay, hundreds of billions of moles that controlled the future, I would rise above that money, and imagine gazing upon something no one else had ever seen. Just as Barton had said, funding those in need and collecting interest as a form of gratitude was something that a boring division within a boring bank would do. In that case, Agana uttered those words. Huh? In that case, make money. At the very least, make money. Agana was angry. But at that moment, I realized that there was something to be happy about, even when her expression was angry. I'll make money. I'll make heaps. I returned my gaze to the computer screen. In my mind was the powerful figure of Barton giving me a pep talk while standing on the top of that cafe table. This here is the way they trade on Schrödinger Street. It blew past everything, whether it was mathematical assistance or even intuition through experience. those who used that no longer had their human dignity, as it was reinforced that they should toss out what they need to think. How? That's why when Agata suddenly called out my name, my mouth let by itself. The falling stock price stopped falling and changed direction. If there was no rational reason why it dropped, then there was no reason at all for it to go up. It was the atmosphere, so to speak. It was all about the atmosphere. I rose up from the screen as my chest sucked in that atmosphere. It will work. No matter where. What was left in my hands was 100,000 sell offer. As the buys went out, the stock price was like the main character in the story. It was gained up no matter how many times he was knocked down. As it got up unsteadily, 1052, 1051, 1052, 1053. Fictional world. The bad guy would kindly wait for the main character to stand up, but that was not true for reality. You take down who you could, when you could, completely. A similar believer in the philosophy of investing struck down mercilessly with a blow. 40,000 was sold. I could almost see the faces of the buyers on the other side of the screen after their fruitless efforts. The stock price marched on down, 1052, 1051, 1050, and breached the insufficient defenses as it continued to down to 1049, 1048. This was the downward pattern. Advantage-seeking sellers came out. 1046, 1044, 1041 as it sped up. Even if there is no news, I'll get away with selling it all. Just when I thought I'd make a 1-hour swing with the remaining 100,000 moles. Hell. Agana's sharp voice stopped my hand, and right afterwards the stock price stopped moving. It wasn't because things were entering a state of reduced activity. The moment I saw it, that glimpse told me enough. During trading, when a rather large order came out, it would get stored up for a bit in order to stop an instantaneously large price fluctuation. It was almost like how everything in a cartoon goes into slow motion when someone uses a finishing move. And then, what got accumulated became something like a time bomb that you knew had a delayed explosion. At 1038 moles, like molten magma, a massive buy came. The total amount of 230,000 moles was like a massive meteorite slamming into a planet, taking everyone with it, and that amount continued to grow. Was a sell-off coming? If so, then I was going to make some buys. News related to Carlyle Investment still hadn't come out. Someone, angered by the ruse that was the seller's offensive, put out a buy order aiming to raise the price. For as many as expected the price to go down, just as many expected it to go up. That was how market prices took shape. Agata clung to my arm desperately. This was different from the time during the investment contest. This real money was going to take a massive hit. The stock price crept up stealthily. An overwhelming amount of money pushed it up. We were using margin selling, so when the price went up, the profits would disappear, and if we did something wrong, then we'd be at a loss. The people entering the buy orders were surely aiming for that scenario, but I didn't glance at Agata at all as I quietly focused on the screen. I wasn't a bit flustered since I had Barton's information. This was important if we wanted our orders to completely envelop the buy orders. No matter how much the price went up, if rain fell as Barton said it should, then it would hit the variable price limit. It was a stock that seemed like a strong gamble, that even a trivial bit of news would be enough to cause its price to fluctuate wildly. Firstly, without a doubt, a limit on the price drop would occur. If that were to happen, with more margin selling at higher prices, the profits would be higher when it returns to cheap buys. For someone like Agata who built a foundation upon mathematics and statistics, it wasn't a stunt worth trying. Each time the price slowly kept up, Agata squeezed my arm with more strength. The price surpassed 1060 and reached 1065. To 1066, 1065, 1066, 1067 it went, opposite to how it was earlier while changing at a faster rate. As we had exceeded our acquired funds, the losses were starting to appear. With the stock price now at 1071, we were plus minus zero from the day before. It was the moment when sellers and buyers were both on the offensive and defensive, resisting each other. And then, at that instant, the price started to climb up, Trade volume exploded, and the movements became extreme as more people caught wind of the situation. I did not panic. I was determined not to panic. But that was not the case for Hagana. Hal, something is weird. It's weird. Why is it not going down, even with all that selling? Why do bad things keep happening, was what she asked, like an innocent girl. Hagana was used to misfortune. She's dealt with a lot of struggles before. She was used to it. That was why she was not used to thinking about what would happen next. Dealing with the outcome was my duty. While I looked straight at the screen, I answered. It's only natural because the news hasn't come out. The conditions for sellers and buyers is 50-50, but I know that the stock will go down, so no matter what is necessary to sell early. Due to that, it dropped first, but no one else knows the information that I got hold of, so they resisted by buying in response and it went up. That is only natural. Didn't I say before that trading was like rock, paper, scissors, where you saw someone's move beforehand? This was especially true for stocks that attracted gambling types. One would be used to such speculative movement. But Hagana murmured as she let go of my arm. And then slowly, she went to her terminal and fiddled with it. Hagana inputted the numbers in her program, and I looked at the initial calculations. I said it was impossible. But I told you, it wasn't this type of trading, right? When the stock price went up steadily with a speed that was anything but slow, it was natural to feel pressure. But looking at Hagana, who relied on that program, I started to feel scorn towards it. For a program that we relied that much on, it felt like an old rundown computer we could no longer use, and Hagana, who relied on it, was like a little girl who consulted her horoscope for everything. So it was clear to me that she wasn't the sort of partner I'd want to trade with anymore. Give up already. It was difficult to see Hagana fall to that level, and I said that without another thought. And then Hagana answered. This is all that I can do. Her face was a mix of anxiety and nervousness. In my words, her face was not that of a cheeky girl who would have absolutely refuted me. Where is the news? It's not coming, is it? I could see through what she was implying with those reserved words, and I kept my mouth shut. The time was now 4 o'clock. It was late. But there was still 1 hour to go. Hell, it really is strange. I don't know why the price won't go down. I kept my mouth shut as Hagana continued. Where is the news? She asked once more, so I had no choice but to respond. There isn't any. According to Lisa, Toyama would come precisely at 5 o'clock. He requested a bank employee he was friends with to keep the counter open a bit longer. According to the schedule, it ended at the same time as trading ended, so all money on hand would need to be withdrawn so the loan could be repaid. An hour left to go. In 1 hour, all will be decided. Buy orders came out again as I thought about that, and I could hear the sound of Hagana's breath getting taken away. As if she was looking at a titled glass on the table, her breath slowed as she watched the price fluctuate. I knew that she was thinking, stop, 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 as she prayed. Though I believed in Barton, at some point in time I had clenched my fist so much that it dripped with sweat. Was I an idiot? Or as I was criticizing myself, the stock price finally stopped at 10.89. Hey, will it be alright? Hagana asked once more. She was nervous. Right as I was wiping my palm, I responded. Have some faith. That was all I could say. But the price has not gone down. Looking at any other period of time, such a statistical result is... calculation error. I said that to stop Hagana from repeating the same thing again. I was more surprised that I interrupted Hagana than I was at her displeased expression. I became aware that my tone had become stronger. You said that there would be errors in the calculations. I added those words on to show that I wasn't angry. That is true. Then it must be that. Besides, I didn't say any more, but Hagana's program wasn't complete. It was wrong occasionally, especially during the last trades of the investment contest. Hagano's calculation was totally off the mark. In terms of the possibility, that was only natural. But this time, it was going to cost real money. There was real human cost for a large number of people. The fates of myself, Chris, and a lot of others were at stake. If we failed here, a lot of people would be left in the cold. Coming here from Earth, being oppressed by the strong, everything they owned got taken away through gritting teeth, while only the ones who took away their stuff amassed a fortune. Right now, for the sake of the dreams of many people, I stood firm. Despite that, why couldn't Hagana trust me at all? Hagana's anxiety-filled face was getting darker and darker. Intermittently, she still glances at me, wanting to say that it would have been best to just close out all positions. To be honest, if we stuck to the basics of trading until now, we would have stopped trading a while ago. For the sake of gaining profits, what was needed was simple, don't have losses. That was why, if losses start to appear, positions would be closed. That way losses would be kept to an absolute minimum, and the small amounts of profit could be preserved. But this wasn't that kind of trading. It wasn't that kind of trading. Why did Hagana not understand that? I was filled with irritation when I suddenly realized something. I looked at Hagana as if to repel her again, and Hagana returned my look timidly. Within my chest, the words, "Could it be?" were in control. Could it be that Hagana had inadvertently said it? This train affected a great number of people's dreams. The dream that good fortune had finally come down upon us was also affected. Thus, for myself, this was but a skirmish in order to enter Schrödinger Street. But Hagana was different. Hagana's dream was not affected. Hagana's dream was for myself, Lisa, probably Chris, and anyone else close to her to be able to live quietly together in this church. You could say that it wasn't greedy. You could say that it was idyllic. But it wasn't even funny that for such a trivial dream, Hagana's earnest hope was right within view. If that were the case, then did Hagana think that way? That if we were to fail here, that I would not leave her? A was B, and thus if B was C, A had to be C. Hagana's straightforward thought process meant this was more than a clear possibility. It was childish and a pitifully awkward way of thinking. Time continued to move on, and soon it was 4:15. I still had a sell order in reserve. When I knew that the price would finally drop, if the price only went up, only selling would lead to bigger profits. But Hagana accepted my hesitation. Hal. Hagana called my name. It was an anxious voice that sounded like it could be crushed. But I pretended like I couldn't hear her. I sympathized with Hagana's simple dream here, but if I didn't go with the best investment at the best time, with the best technique, then I couldn't be an investor. I wouldn't be an investor. I stared at the screen. Hagana no longer stole looks, and I was painfully aware that she was looking right at me. Hell. Shut up! I yelled at her unintentionally. Hagana did not narrow her eyes. Her eyes were like those of a scolded puppy. My bad. I said that as I returned to the screen. The news wasn't coming. When would it come out? The buy orders trickled in one by one. Was it coming? Why wasn't it coming yet? Hagana worked slowly at her terminal. I stole a glance at her and saw that the expected price range had taken on an irregular shape. Based on the estimates, a severe increase was predicted. My eyes returned to the computer. It was true that, given the circumstances, I would have started making buys. But big trades were always like that. In order to make big profits, it was necessary to make moves opposite of those idiotic masses. When it came to buying and selling, you couldn't have one without the other, just as one person making a profit would require another taking a loss. I was not wrong. This was not wrong. The ones who were wrong were the unknowing masses. passes. I have waited for those capable of thinking. I was waiting after all. Even though I looked at Hagana as she tried to get my attention, I knew what she was thinking. The time hit 4:30, which left us with 30 minutes. When was the news going to come out? Unsurprisingly, I was also growing impatient, so I brought up Barton's email address and typed out a single sentence. Was this really going to work? When I was about to send it, I hesitated. That moment, a single chime sounded. The sound was from Hagana's program. I had gotten used to the sound. The sound when the specified price range was hit in the program. It was the sound that signaled the coming of countless profits, and the moment I heard it I was on the verge of tears. With my timidity eliminated, I closed the mail program and returned to the trading screen. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Hal! Hagana yelled. I could feel the world revolving. Hal, you should hurry and trade. I couldn't hear any of the words after that. The price had jumped up. A sound rang out when the price was in the range of the estimated fluctuation, but so far it would always veer away from what it was hoped for, so it was natural that the price would fluctuate in the other direction. In other words, it was headed towards a big loss. It's fine. It should be fine. If the news, so long as the news comes in. My shaky hand grabbed my other shaking hand. With what remained, I made a solo move. The stock price's upward movement stopped. I thought I would laugh. The losses had exceeded 4%. No, this was no more than a temporary thing. It looked more like it should have been one step towards big profits rather than just selling because the price was high. But I questioned myself. If I really believed in Barton from the bottom of my heart, then I should continue to wait till the price goes higher and higher and then sell. But why wasn't that possible? Why weren't things playing out rationally? From the chair I could feel my eyes looking somewhere, anywhere away. My self-confidence was falling apart. The time. What time is it? 4:45. 15 minutes left. The stock price once again started moving upwards. I got up, stood up, and grabbed my shoulders. Hal, something is wrong. Shut up. It should go down. It should have gone down. But it's going up. Can't you see? It should go down. It should have gone down. Agana backed away at my yelling, but she picked up her terminal and thrust it in front of me. There's no possibility of it going down whatsoever. Statistically, that possibility is... Don't you remember that we lost the investment contest because we followed your program? Those words slipped out suddenly. Agana's face looked as if those words pierced her heart as she staggered backwards. With a thump, her body gave in and she collapsed to the ground. She was completely expressionless, as if she were a mannequin. Damn it! I cursed at no one in particular as I bit my lip and returned to the screen. News. Where was it? If only the news would come. Dear Lord! I prayed. I had prayed. I prayed to God. And then it was 4:47 in the afternoon. Above the trading screen, the word news announcement appeared. At that moment, I might have peed my pants briefly. My hands moved, putting together all that remained of the funds, remembering it was the time to sell it all off. My mind was filled with a strange sense of impatience, nervousness, and even drunkenness as my knees started to shake. I made it. Made it in time. I was right, after all. As I caught my breath, the red text of the news announcement disappeared and the news itself rolled in. The trading screen stopped. Everyone that was involved in trading held their breath, and the numbers on the trading screen stopped moving completely. Stock number 3201, Carlisle Investment. Hurry, hurry, what's next? I stared intently at the screen while my body could only react as if there was only bad news to be had. And then the red text continued to scroll by. I could not grasp the meaning of those words. Given doubts about maintaining liquidity, he expressed confidence at the press conference that working capital was more than plentiful. What I didn't understand was the meaning of those words, was that it wasn't clear just how those words could be utilized. I wasn't sure if it was a deluge of sweat or tears that I wiped away as I looked at the news once more. Capital was provided by Mr. Alan Schwartz, a fund manager at the notable investment fund Pax Romana. Over 2 billion rubles were provided, forming the basement for the redevelopment project. I couldn't continue reading after that. All I could do was breathe. The stock price continued to go up until it hit the daily limit, minus 32%. On top of that, this was just today. If everything in the news was correct, then tomorrow and the day after that, certainly the price would hit the daily limit each time. How much more were the losses going to extend to? If there was nothing to sell, then nothing could be bought back. When it came to margin selling, there were conditions involved if one tried to buy it back all at a later time. I was hit with a strong bout of nausea, but I swallowed deeply and steadied myself as I clicked on the news once more. Impossible. There absolutely has to be a mistake. Please let them be talking about a different stock. I opened up the news announcement. I could swear I heard my heart stop. I wondered if that was how it was supposed to sound. Picture 1. CEO Jack Lunny and Mr. Alan Schwartz. That was all the caption stated. But the one picture there was, without a doubt, Barton. Ah. I wasn't sure if that was breathing or groaning. What I knew was a sound signaled the arrival of an email. Like a trained dog, or perhaps a programmed robot, I opened the email. The sender was Barton. You thought with your brain and traded, did you not? A short single sentence. Did I think it through myself? Had I not left it to someone else to help me decide? Had I not left such an important decision for someone else to decide for me? Think less like a machine. Think like a human. The purpose of that was... My vision became dark, and I heard the sound of my head hitting my computer screen. Hell! And then I thought I heard Hagana's voice, and that was the last thing I remembered. I found out about everything about 4 days after I'd fallen into a coma. In the end, our position was at minus 264%, pushing through with 720,000 wools and ending at minus 264%, left us with a liability of 2 million wools. There was no point talking about paying back loans. In the end, the savings of the townspeople was wiped out, and they were burdened with a debt that they absolutely could not pay. But after Lisa's and a hurried explanation, it appeared that it was all reduced to 50,000 wools. In the evening on the day after I collapsed, apparently the phone rang. A man who introduced himself as Barton wanted to liquidate our margin sale position by giving us some stock at a specific value. Bought at that price, the loan ended up at 50,000 wools. Carlisle investment stock continued to hit the daily high price limit consecutively and couldn't be sold at all. Since the price continued to rise the next day, there was no way that such a proposition would be turned down. Hagana, who knew Barton's name from my mails on my computer, resisted vigorously, but Lisa accepted the terms. Everything was back to normal. Or rather, it was better to say that everything was lost. As for Chris's father and all the others who entrusted us with their money, I thought they would all come by to kill me, but instead they visited me in my hospital room. And on top of that, they thanked me for letting them dream of the possibilities. That hurt me more than having abusive words hurled at me. They were used to losing, used to falling into despair. And they were strong enough to not bear any ill will towards others. If it weren't for Lisa, I would probably be dead right now. On the other hand, I realized that I couldn't see Hagana anywhere. Hagana had been in the church the whole time, and it appeared that she too had been run ragged. I had taken a lot of emotional shock, and my body wasn't able to move. Once I regained consciousness, I did not return right away. It wasn't until 10 days later that I returned pathetically to the church in a wheelchair. Lisa offered to wheel me. That day, the weather was nice on the moon, nicer than any other easygoing day. I was kind of looking at the background to see if there were any details, but there isn't. Along the road, Lisa said something nonchalantly. The church. I've decided to sell it. I didn't so much as move. There's still the loan money to deal with. If I just sold what I could, it would take care of everyone's living expenses too. Even if tears formed in my eyes, I did not have the strength to show any sadness. I'm glad we made it in time to get you discharged from the hospital, and well, I figured it'd be a good time for lunch too. Chris may come by as well. Sir Alt is going to prepare food himself too. He thinks he is so smart after I taught him how to cook. Lisa continued with small talk. She wasn't faking being happy, and knowing that hurt quite a lot. For Lisa and the others, this had been an everyday thing back on Earth. Just being alive was more than enough, right? And she had experience being able to say things like that with a smile. Sir Alt looked into things. And just like that, Lisa changed subjects. Barton, he said, would always do those kinds of things. Even when his company got taken over, Barton was one of the people behind the curtains. Sir Alt said that he harbored a lot of resentment long ago, and seemed about to suffer divine punishment at any moment. But Sir Alt said he doesn't go in for the killing blow. When he called us, he was probably not trying to pin us against the wall or anything, Sir Alt said. Is that what you call kindness? I'm not so sure myself, though. Lisa laughed once more. Her laugh was mingled with a sigh, a very fatigued laugh. There are all sorts of people in this world. Yeah, that really is true. I couldn't say for sure that I'd been deceived, only because I myself wasn't ready to acknowledge that. Could it have been a misunderstanding, or perhaps even a mistake? But in reality, everything was lost. Barton apparently used different aliases for different purposes. Even the census showed each of those aliases. He was the example of a person who could do anything so long as money and personal connections were available. I had miscalculated my own position, thus I took a great loss. I was willing to accept that. I was just some brat after all. But well, we do have our bonds left over, isn't that so, Hal? Lisa reached around from behind me and pinched my cheek. I could not move my body, nor could I change my facial expression. Lisa sighed. Are you mad that I contacted your family? Lisa asked me. We passed by the front of the steam bun shop. That was where the old lady gave me an extra because she thought that Chris was too skinny and asked me to give her one. Without doubting me an ounce, she handed me a 3-mool bun. I was surprised by that. Yet why did I think Barton would so easily divulge information worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions of moles? This was hubris. Since I'm sure you'll get better. That's what Lisa said. They said it was something psychological. The bruise on your forehead is probably going to leave a mark, though. But you're a guy, after all. Scars are a badge of honor. I could not respond. Lisa explained to me what the doctor had said. It wasn't because of medical reasons that I couldn't move. Supposedly some wiring within my mind had come undone. Because of that, I couldn't make myself move, and I couldn't even make facial expressions. Moreover, Lisa did her best to convince the doctor to hide my identity. There were medical bills to deal with, though, so that wasn't possible. After my identity had been extracted via iris scan and fingerprinting, my family was soon notified. I wasn't angry with Lisa at all. I wouldn't have any qualms, even if Lisa killed me. Well, I'm going to feed you plenty today. No need to feel embarrassed about it, okay? She giggled. Her laugh seemed dry. In front of the church, Sir Alt and Chris waited, as did Toyama. Aside from how I was, I didn't imagine I would see them again. But just like people visiting someone at the hospital, they were all smiles. A gathering of losers. Though that's what I thought, I couldn't help but feel very happy to see them waiting for me. Now then, everyone, let's go to the garden on the 3rd floor. At Lisa's words, everyone headed towards the 3rd floor. I'm gonna let you thoroughly enjoy my lap pillow service. She said that as we passed through the living room. A wonderful smell wafted through the living room, making me wonder if it was the lingering smell of food being made. And then, just when we got to the second floor, Chris ran off to get something. I need to get the drinks. Thanks for the help. Be careful. Looks like you're getting used to this, aren't you, Chris? Chris shrugged her shoulders and smiled, both her arms filled with drinks as she moved carefully. Where's Hagana? At Lisa's question, Chris stopped climbing the steps, then walked back down slowly. And then she pointed at the door to her room. Lisa nodded, and Chris's face stiffened somewhat as she started climbing the stairs again. She can be a difficult child. Though Lisa said that, it was clear that she didn't really believe her own words. That's how I felt anyway. Hagana wasn't a difficult person. She was honest and straightforward, but just awkward. Hagana? Hagana? Lisa did that on purpose as she knocked on her door. Hagana did not respond. Jeez, it's Hal. Hal's come home. Though Lisa said that, there was still no response. Lisa looked back at me and shrugged her shoulders. Hagana, I'm opening the door. And with that, she opened the door. The last time that door was opened, it was night. It was the time Hagana had a screaming match with Toyama, and then she elbowed Lisa in the face. Hagana had curled up in a ball in the corner of her room and shook all over. This time, it wasn't the same as that failure from before. She was alright, wasn't she? I imagined she was alright. Hagana wouldn't break before something like that. We fought together. There's no way she would be this weak. But there was a deliberate, discomforting pain in my heart. Without a doubt, Hagana did not stop trading for the sake of her own dreams. Through it all, she stayed rational. The one who thought with her head was Hagana, after all. Despite that, I rejected Hagana. At the last moment, I rejected her. For that, I wanted to apologize. Huh? As Lisa murmured that, I came to my senses. Lisa turned away from the door and walked past me before heading to the living room. She opened and closed the door to the toilet, then headed towards the church. The door to Hagana's room was left open as it was. Before long, with a stiffened face, Lisa passed me again and ran up the stairs. In the middle of this fine day, I was left alone. Beyond the half-open door, there was but an empty space. I sat in the wheelchair and closed my eyes. Hell. I recalled Hagana's voice and how she addressed me. Hagana. In the end, what was her real name anyway? In the midst of this fine day, with this pain in my heart, I felt lightheaded. Hagana had disappeared from the church. My teenage years, like that, came to an end. The stock market that day, with no regard to her circumstances, should have been busy. So I guess they're showing off all the CGs on the side. In case you were wondering about 2 minutes ago, I'll go silent here.
傷跡だけ
pay attention to that picture. I'm going to talk about that later. Actually, any Barton CG would do. And keep in mind that CG we see right there is actually a unique one so far. This is our first time seeing it. Hey, CG mode is now unlocked. So yeah, this is our endgame CG. But, I can actually pull them up here, can't I? This is a pretty good one. So, to talk about art a little bit, this was kind of... I don't know if any of you have actually read The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. It's the story of Sam Spade, the detective, I guess. I remember if he's... like, he's at least a private investigator. I don't know if he was a detective or what. I forgot his backstory exactly. That actually describes Sam Spade with a lot of straight lines in the way he's drawn. So if you, well, in the way he's described. For Barton, if you look, there are all sorts of straight lines. And if you're not sure what those straight lines in a person's face is supposed to mean, it's generally malice or some sort of evil. So, if you ever look at a character and just instinctively know that's a bad guy, that's because you've been trained and actually they've put these in here, all these straight lines. So the smile doesn't really help him, to be honest, but if you pay attention to just the way he is, how there's all these lines on his face, this I know is a thing in the West at least, it might be a thing in the East too, but this is one of your visual clues that Barton is not someone to be trusted. Now, examples of this that I can think of actually in Eastern animation, art, etc. The best one I can think of is probably Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. So if you think about his hair, it's kind of triangular shaped. You have those, well, you don't have the top of his head, but the two lines going up towards the tip of his hair, those are straight lines. Piccolo, there's all sorts of straight lines in his face, the pointed ears, the pointed teeth. You may say, hey, his head is round. Yeah, but it's also bald, which does have somewhat of a sinister connotation there, since there were times in human history where baldness was frowned upon. So I didn't really want to call out Barton on that just yet, but the story did need a villain anyway. And let's face it, pretty often he looks very villainous on his own. I mean, he does have the reddish-orange suit, which kind of already has diabolical implications right there. But yeah, right there we got the double cross, and pretty much Hal is kind of screwed because his tip came in the form of insider trading, and that alone should have set off an alarm, but for some reason he decided to choose Barton, and that's the fallout, I guess. So I don't... oh, over here. So how much music was actually in this game? What the hell? I'm curious. Okay, that's when Hagana's running around undressed. And that kind of sucks that not all these are exactly translated. It's possible there may not exactly be a translation that goes with them, though. But anyway, I'm good to wrap it up here. That was World End Economica 1. So the series itself is a trilogy. With this one in our pocket now, we can move forward to the second part, and that will be taking the weekend upload schedule. So there's still one big project I'm keeping keeping it on the back burner. I just want to say World End Economica is a little bit more important, but we'll see. I may try to do like one video of this one every week or something, I'm not entirely sure.